This is a story about Slipstreamer's SS-28 Sport windscreen. It's mounted on a Hyosung GV250 Aquila. It's a 2016 model, and I've only had it about a month. Who's Hyosung, you ask? Well, Hyosung started building bikes for Suzuki in 1978. The company changed hands a number of times, and my 2016 GV250 Aquila was made for the U.S. market under the name KR Motors. It retailed for $4,099. I found 8 models at one dealership for $2,399, but they were listed as used, but they had 0 miles. I love its old school looks. Its flared fenders, shrouded shocks on the front, saddle seat, and most of all, it's got a V-twin. Although the 75-degree layout of the V-twin isn't as appealing as HD's, Harley Davidson's or Indians 45-degree layouts, nevertheless, any V-twin is probably better than nothing. Okay, it rides a little bumpy, and the rear is a brake drum. But hey, it's a 250 bike that weighs 388 pounds. It's supposed to ride a little bumpy. It's air cold, but also has an oil cooler to help out with the cooling. It cranks out 28 horsepower and has a 5-speed wet clutch. The only other 250 V-twin on the market is Yamaha's V-Star 250. Formerly it was called a Virago, which I have also owned. Its other competition that's currently on the market is the old style Rebels or the new style Rebel 300. Now let's get to the windshield. The windshield is from Slipstreamer. It's the SS-28. The company resides in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and it was founded in the early 70s and is one of the largest manufacturers of motorcycle windshields in the world. I went with Slipstreamer after looking at their website's About Us page. One paragraph that sold me on Slipstreamer reads like this: "Our commitment to customer service includes listening to our customers. If you ever experience a problem with our product, contact us. We will deal with any problems directly and take care of it as quickly as possible to ensure everyone is satisfied. We would love to hear from you, and who knows," and here's my favorite part, "you may be able to convince us to make what you need or help us develop a new product. Bob Eggerich, President." I hope I don't screw your last name up too badly, Bob. Eggerichs. Eggerich. I emailed Slipstreamer about my concern with my new Hyosung GV250. Well, it's not new, it's a 2016, but has no miles. I can only find 2 other companies on YouTube that made windshields for a Hyosung. Hyosung was one of their companies, and they only offered 1 windshield. I saw a YouTube video where a guy in Canada installed a Slipstreamer SS-20 on his Aquila. Trust me, there's not many YouTube videos about windshields fitted to Hyosungs. After a few chats am a happy camper. I'd like to thank Bob for his help. You're the best, Bob.